Hey guys, I got Simon Harries here. He's actually coming to us from Launch Express. Um, Simon actually and I linked up over the internet. We had like lot of mutual friends and stuff like that. And that's one of those things is sometimes you just got to reach out and touch somebody. It's the old yellow pages, right?
The new school of yellow pages.
Yeah. So he's the founder of Launch Express. He graduated from Cardiff University of Business Management and Marketing. He's got a proven track record taking business ideas and making them reality with a proven system. Inside of that, I know you got some cool stuff you're doing on Instagram as well. I'm sure you're going to kind of go into. But what's your first original thought about being an entrepreneur? When's the first time in your life where like maybe you were a little kid, you had a hot dog stand or whatever you were doing? Like, what's the biggest thing that you remember?
The biggest thing I remember back, and obviously back then, it wasn't 100%. I didn't know it was entrepreneurial. Of course, I used to sell, basically in schools, you have vending machines, right? Like vending machines, you used to get your snacks and your drinks and stuff. And over in the UK,
that's a tough business. People like discount that, but I remember I had a short stint in the vending machine business, and I was like, man, it's like, oh, it'll be really easy, and like nobody wants to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah, and like it was crazy because the school had vending machines, and in about 2003, I was about 13 years old. And this whole healthy eating come in around kids. So they ripped all the vending machines out and replaced them with fruit and like things like that. So what I did, literally the day after that happened, I literally went to like a store and just bought up like a load of like sweets and cans of Coke and cans of like finance. And I just sold them on the schoolyard for double what I paid for them. And that was it every day. And then it's sort of a couple of weeks in, I asked my father then, I was 13 then, to take me to the wholesaler, right? Basically like a big wholesaler called where you could go and buy obviously the boxes like the shops, like the corner stores would have. And I started, to increase margin. I was still selling for the same amount, but obviously I'm buying way more stuff for way cheaper. And that was sort of the first time I really sort of had my own business, and I was clearing about £350 a week, which is about back then in 2003 was about $700.
Dude, that's a lot of. How old were you at this point?
13.
13. You're 13.
13.
You're clearing that kind of money.
Yeah. Big. It was like, I bought my own Xbox, all the games, all the, and like soccer jerseys I wanted, all the sports stuff, like all things that kids would normally have to wait their birthdays or Christmas to have. I was just buying them week to week, like whenever like new thing came out, I was just going to buy them. And then a funny story was I actually got suspended, which means, I don't know if you have it over there, like it means you can't go to school for 1 week because of this business, you see. So they tried saying, you couldn't do it anymore, like,
They try to shut you down.
Yeah, so they shut me down, and I got suspended for a week. So I thought, oh, no way. And lucky for me, my parents are quite encouraging. They didn't really bat my head off about it. 2 seconds.
Sure, that Skype pops up on you like that.
Yeah, I thought I had it. I thought I had it. 2 seconds.
I remember I always turned that little guy off.
Yeah, I
know.
So
you started the candy business there. And,
so that was the big one for me. Like, so we had the candy, and that was cool. That was like really cool. And then that about 3 minutes later got shut down. And then,
I mean, who gave you permission to go start a can business? A lot of times, people out there in business think that they have to go get permission to start a business or start working what they're doing. I mean, like you're 13 years old. Like, I mean, where'd you get this idea from? I mean, like, who's thinking about that when they're 13, right?
Yeah, and that was the thing because like. What it was that like when the vending machines were taken out, people were going outside the school gates to the shop and getting caught. They were getting caught and they were getting like suspended because they obviously wanted to get this. So I just went like, hey, I'll buy them in the afternoon, keep them in my bag, and then the next day I'll sell them in school. And we actually got shut down for a week. So the rules of this thing was that I couldn't sell inside of the school gates. So that was it. That was the whole thing. And it was a big thing. You can't do this inside the school grounds thing. So what I did, I just let everyone know that they had to buy everything they wanted for the day off me as I got off the school bus. So as I got off the school bus,
You got mobbed.
yeah, so basically off the school bus, I actually caught an earlier bus than a normal one in, and I would stand like half out for school at the gate, and I would sell all my stock around. The thing is, this worked out great because I didn't have to lug around a heavy bag all day and wait for the first break or lunch break to sell all my stuff. So like I was selling like 100 cans of Coke within 30 minutes.
Holy cow. So
Like,
instead
yeah.
of carrying around all day, you let all the consumers know they had to buy it in this window.
Yeah, and yeah, it was like, but like, I think like, like to me that was just, it's just like, some people now are like looking back, it's genius. It's like, it is, it's, like, and obviously I'm not, I'm not ridiculously smart kid yet. Yes, I do have a university degree. I'm dyslexic. Like it's confirmed dyslexic, and but I wasn't like treated for dyslexia, or it wasn't obviously dyslexic until I reached university. Until one of the lecturers in university, obviously reading my work, could see all these spelling mistakes of an 18, 19-year-old, and was like, "Hey, like we need to get you checked because we think you're dyslexic." And went through, and it actually turns out I'm severely dyslexic. And I managed to get through all my school, all the way through high school, all the way through college, all the way through to university, until I was found out I was dyslexic. And and obviously after that I got a degree and stuff. And all it was really just hard work, and making the stuff I could understand work. That was the main thing. I think the key I've always been good at that I didn't realize until sort of the last couple of years was that I'm very good at just focusing on one thing and not getting sidetracked by a lot of stuff. So that was what I tended to did when I was in school. Like in school, I was really good at like core subjects like maths, English, and science. Everything else, I was really bad at. History, really bad at. Trying to learn another language, really bad at. Working with my hands, like working a trade, absolutely terrible. I can't even do DIY in my own home. I'm so bad at it. But that's what I just focused on like the core of everything that I thought that I needed to have to progress my life forward, And same when I sort of started when I was young, 13. And then when I moved into college, into university, I set up my own business, which is basically doing the marketing for nightclubs. So that was sort of my second business as such. That I was working with nightclubs to do all their marketing, and I would take a percentage of the money they charged on the door. And that was sort of my next sort of project. And then slowly from there, we moved forward, and we sort of from there, after all that happened, when I worked for a big IT company, so sort of went on to the whole corporate thing after this, sort of, because I, even though I had my own businesses, I still believed into the hook that I had to really get a job in a corporate ladder to really make big money. Like for me, like I used to do stuff in the nightclub stuff, and it was good. It was good money. I probably earned about like like £800 to like £1,000 a week, which is good money. Like it was really good money at that time, especially once I was in university. But I still believe like to have the big jobs and to have the $1 million salaries, I had to go and put some grind in at a big corporate company, and work my way to get these results. And I was still 21, still quite young at the time. And obviously once you sat in university, the people who especially at the time, the people who came into the university to talk about like real life experience working for companies were these big CEOs of companies. There's a company over here called Walker's Crisps, which is basically a massive chip, a chip company over in the UK. And he was a guy who came in and he was like, yeah, I got my job at, I started working on the factory floor at the factory at the age of like 16, and I worked my way up the ladder, and I'm like 62 when I'm the CEO, earning like $1 million. But obviously our lecturers saying, look, he had to start on the factory floor, but you have a degree and you'd be able to, jump 8-10 years ahead of him. So when he's 62, the CEO, you'll be 52. And and they sell you on that dream that, you're in university, you'll make it there quicker, 10 years quicker. When, the real life of it is that like starting your own business and chasing your own dreams is, far more rewarding, not just financially, but obviously mentally, I feel, and you just feel emotionally better about what you do. And that's sort of the big case for me was. So I left that corporate job very, very quickly, about 6 months. I couldn't.
Let's look at something real quick, because you kind of glossed over something that's really important there. Instead of because I know what it's like to be on the dyslexic thing. It's funny, like the same kind of thing that happened with you happened with me. And my mom actually hid it from me that she never wanted me to know I had some kind of problem around that. And it was one of those things where it was kind of like painful, but it wasn't at the same time, because that's all I ever knew. And I actually, I would read 1 page, and then the kid next to me would read 5 pages, and I'd get to the bottom of the page, and I couldn't remember what the hell was at the top of the page. Right? And the thing about it is, it's kind of funny that a lot of entrepreneurs that I talk with fit that same kind of profile. But it's one of those things. It's kind of like, if you looked at, they're doing like studies and stuff like that, about over half, I swear, it's about half the entrepreneurs that I work with personally are dyslexic of some form or fashion, and sometimes it's severe, like you're saying, and then sometimes it's, maybe it's not, so that's one of those things that comes like almost like a superpower. Richard Branson's that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. But because, and I don't know how much you come across, there's a couple of guys I know who are dyslexic, and they're quite ashamed of it, or they were ashamed of it. I've never been really ashamed of it. It's never been a topic that I've ever really talked about too much, but I've never been ashamed of it. When people ask, I didn't say I'm dyslexic, it's just the way it is. But there has been times where you read a whole book, or you read, a page of a book, they've read it, 2 days quicker than you have, and they remember far more than what I did, But what I did find is that, like I said before, is that there would always be a part of a book, or part of a story, or part of even like a play, or even a movie, right? Like that I would like, it could be a certain chapter or a certain area or a certain story inside a book that would just always stand out in my brain. And I couldn't remember anything else around it. It would just be like this one bit. And if I was asked a question for example, any question that came from page 30 to maybe even 37, 7 pages, I know every single thing about. But I read the book exactly the same. But it was just doing those pages. For some reason, my brain just sucked in all that information, and then the rest just went away. It was weird, and sometimes it feels weird. I felt I just had a small brain, and the brain would just, I just thought, I just can't be as intelligent as these guys. There's no way, because they remember a whole book, and I remember 7 pages. Until you become older and maybe more aware of it, and you see other people go through it, you don't realize that you're not on your own. You're not on your own, or it sounds weird, but you're not something special, or there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that there's going to be other stuff that you're way better at than they are. And everyone's different. Everyone's very different.
Let's talk about that. What are some of the things that uniquely kind of set you up for success as being an entrepreneur, because you have this superpower?
Yeah. Yeah. I have this superpower that I feel like my biggest one is that I'm able to concentrate on one thing and make it happen. Literally, if this is the one goal, will do maybe a lot of different things, but I'll just focus on one thing at a time, and I can't really manage 8 projects at the same time. But if it's all about the same subject, I can just plow through it really quickly. I'll jump over hurdles faster than most people will. But I do very much believe in that, anyone can achieve that sort of, you don't have to have the superpower that, if you focus on one thing, dedicate yourself to it. But when I work with other people and I say, hey, they should adopt this one way of thinking, they find it really hard to adopt it, where I really don't. I really don't. I can just sit there and just really plow through it all really fast, finish it, and be like, okay, what's my next one thing? Do you know what I mean? And I find that is a big thing that has really helped me focus on my success, is to become successful in one thing. And then obviously you keep becoming successful in other things, and your success blanket and a sort of umbrella just becomes bigger and bigger, And I think that's been the biggest part for me, is not starting too many projects, not jumping and hopping from other projects. And what really helps me as well is that because you're focusing on one thing, if you need help with something, you really know how to ask the question for help. I find when, I don't know, I know you have a lot of people that, that work with you to help, free their mind up. But do you find sometimes they really struggle to ask you the right question, like to help you understand? Because what I find when I work with people, that they really struggle to tell me what they need help with. I never find that problem. When I need help, I'll be able to tell you exactly what I need help with. And make it very clear. That's
a superpower in itself for anybody, not even just entrepreneurs out there, to be able to focus on one thing. I know I've been guilty at my times. I remember the first, I think, seminar I ever went to where it's a pitch fest. I didn't know what that was at the time. And I remember seeing all these shiny objects for, oh my gosh, I could do this and I could do this, and, all at the same time. Right. And it's completely disaster, because it's like you're segmenting your focus on all these different areas. And even recently attending the Frank Kern conference, if you get a chance to go, it's amazing. And Frank said, I've got members and I got non-members now. That's it. He's like, that's all he's focused on. He's like, I could do all these other things that are out there, but I'm just focused on one thing. He's like, this is it. He's like, that's the only thing that's got my attention. And,
I think that's a big thing. Yeah. And and what's really hard is, especially in this industry, is that, like a pitch fest, especially if you attend a pitch fest, they'll all pitch you on 8 different ideas that you only need to work an hour a day on. So you truly believe that you can work on 8 different things in a day. So some people love to work. They're like, hey, I love working 8 to 10 hours a day. I want to. So this means I need to work on 8 to 10 different things so I can fill my day. And that's what it's like. And they truly believe it. And I get it.
Wrong answer.
And I truly believe it. It's not their fault. Like you said, it's that you didn't even know it was called the pitch fest. Do you know what I mean? As in, you just thought it was an event you're going to learn loads from. And if you go there without really knowing, and it's experience, it is total experience, or it's being lucky enough to have someone being like, hey, we're going to go to this event. Don't buy anything because it's a pitch fest. Or if you're going to buy something, just buy one thing, the one thing you really like the most, or one thing that you feel most passionate about. Doesn't matter if it tells you can do it in 3 minutes a day or 30 hours a day. You need to focus on one thing. And I've been there. It's nothing. It's nothing new. We were all newbies once. Even he says, even the expert.
I got baptized at one point at a pitch fest.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
so tell us a little bit what you're doing on the business side of things now, and how you've, how you focused on the one thing that you got going at the moment.
Yeah, I think I got quite lucky because how I entered into the internet marketing world and so I actually got employed by a pretty big marketer, a really good guy, massive respect. I was able to learn my trade whilst getting paid very well. I truly believe that, and
so that's a gold nugget right now, guys. If you can get paid to learn a skill from somebody that's going to teach you and educate you, that's.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that happens in this industry. A lot is that people really slam down on people who have jobs, which I really hate. I really hate it a lot because the truth about it is that there's nothing wrong with having a job, because you are learning. It's always great to be able to have a job in something you're interested in, of course, or something that's going to give you a skill set that'll help you later on in life. And that's where I got really lucky. Okay, I hate the word luck, but I did. I didn't know I was going to enter this business or thing. So what happened was I got a job as basically a marketing assistant, working for a huge internet marketer, a really massively successful guy, and I worked for him for about 2 years. I was able to learn my trade by getting paid a lot of money for it as well, really well paid, and the guy's great. I learned so much from him. But when I wanted to leave, I left the company because it was, after 2 years, I was like, heck, I want to do this on my own. I want to do this for myself. So I left, we parted ways, and he had obviously it was a small company when I started there, but then he eventually had a big, we grew the company out. So I was now on my own. Right. So I had to sort of, even though I knew the most way and I knew obviously the fundamentals of everything, but I had to learn everything again to be able to build it with just me on my own in my business, because obviously I didn't have, you know, big teams or nothing like that. So I had to learn how to make everything that was happening in that business, or, you know, in the internet marketing space that I'd learned, work for a one-man band sort of as thing, you know, as I'm just starting out. So my one thing when I did that was, right, I need to be able to scale these back into a manageable, you know, in manageable areas of my business, which I can control, I can work on. And then when I have all that in control and start earning money, then I can rescale out. So I got really lucky. So it turned out, like, you know, after like a year of leaving, you know, I wasn't earning anywhere near the same amount of money I was earning when I had a job with this guy. So like, even though I thought, I was like, hey, I can do this. Like I'm, you know, I've learned how to do internet marketing off this guy for like 2 years. When I stopped, like the income stopped because I had to restart again. But, you know, I'm in a far better position now, financially, as well as, you know, I own my own time. It's my business. I'm growing something I really, you know, that it's mine. You know, I believe in, you know. So, you know, I still believe in what I did before I was working with the other internet, of course, you know, but it's mine now, you know. And I think what I do find is that another bit of success, which is really important, is being able to like take a step back to take 3 steps forwards, you know. Like, I didn't know I was going to lose the income, but looking back, it's like one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it made me more driven to get back to that income that I was earning and bypassing it as well. You know, like, to be fair, if someone said to me, hey, you know, you're going to go a year without earning any real income, you're going to really struggle for a year, would I have left my job? Probably not. Like, probably not. Like, in my head, I believe that I would have just left that day and like tomorrow I'd be doing the same amount. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. I should have really looked.
So you're like, I'm just going to walk out the door, and that's what you just like, all of a sudden, how did you come to that decision? Because there's a lot of people out there that possibly work, you know, jobs, corporate America, whatever. Maybe they're working on their business on the side and they're thinking, man, I'm going to be able to take this thing. I'm going to be able to go full time. Like, where did all of a sudden that drive, what was happening in your life at that point in time that you're like, I'm just going to walk out the door?
I think it was like, it's one of those things where like I helped the company grow, you know, like, not on my own, like we had teams and stuff, you know, everyone contributed, but I was at the front of the business. I was driving the leads into the business, working really hard. That was sort of my main role, driving the leads into the business, into a process that would, you know, close. And I had to work quite hard, you know. It was quite a big cog in the chain of how it worked, to be fact. And I could see the money that they were taking away as owners and what I was getting paid. And that was the biggest thing for me, was that, you know, I was saying, hey, I'm driving like without what I was doing, everything behind wouldn't work. So I felt myself like, hey, man, like I want a bigger piece of the pie. And, you know, like at the end of the day, as a business owner, like he was like straight with me, you know, which I'll always be thankful for. It was like, hey, you know, I'm not giving you a piece bigger of the pie. You have to figure out how you're going to get a bigger piece of the pie yourself. So in my mind was like, okay, if he's not going to give me the piece of the pie, then I'm going to get my own pie. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want a bigger piece of his pie. I'm just going to get a big piece. I'm just going to get my pie.
You just eat the whole pie.
Yeah, you know, and that was sort of what really pushed me over the edge, was that, you know, like if you're sitting there today watching the show and you're going to your job tomorrow, or you're there today, like you look at yourself like what you do, and you don't, maybe you work in a big corporation, you don't even know who the owner is, or you've never met him, you don't know where he lives, but have a look at the people above you, like the managers or the managers above him, and see what their life is like, and really understand that, you know, like, do you feel that you should be getting a bigger piece of pie? Like, I know you shouldn't really compare yourself to other people, but that was the biggest thing that pushed me over the edge. Like, hey, like, I want to, you know, get to this point. Like, what's going to get me there the fastest? What's going to get me there? What's going to really fulfill me is like, well, saying that I did it on my own, that I own the, you know, the pie, and I can control that, you know? And that was the biggest thing, was getting control back of my own time, you know, decide on what I want to do. Like today, I'm in the UK, so the UK doesn't get good weather like ever, but it's really good weather today. So today I've just been sat in the garden. I cooked my lunch on the barbecue. Like, this is like in the UK.
Rare. That's rare over there.
Yeah. Like in the UK, like we only get 2 days of summer, and this is day 1. and you don't know
Say
when
what?
is going to come, right? So
You're about to go outside after this and get out of the
yeah,
house.
so like most people have had to go to work Monday, you know, like the weekend was raining, windy, not warm. Monday, it's glorious, it's sunny, and I'm like, hey, today I'm going to go for a big walk. I'm going to sit in the garden. I'm going to cook food on the barbecue. I'm going to cut the grass. And literally, that's what I've done. You know, I woke up early this morning, did my emails, and made sure I was set for the day. And I controlled that because the chances are, like, even already I know on Wednesday it's going to pour down. Well, I know I'm going to get, and I've got webinars late in the night. I know that's an 18-hour day for me. So I'm in control of that. Like, I've decided, hey, I'm going to take a couple hours off Monday, and then I'm going to bash out an 18-day on Wednesday. And like some people are like, hey, man, I don't work 18-hour days. You don't have to. You don't have to work 18-hour days. But what you're able to do,
difference is, I mean, Simon, seriously, is it work to you when you're doing a day like that? Or are you just having a good time?
Yeah, I'm just having a good time. Like, of course, there's aspects of stuff that I call work that because it's not something I like to do. But like, it's same as like you own a house. Everyone loves owning their house, but everyone hates cutting the grass. Everyone hates digging the weeds out. So, I mean, there's always going to be a factor of something you don't like about what you love. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, same. It's like, you know, it's like people love being in shape, but like, how many people really like cardio? Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, everyone likes being in shape, but like, how do you really like doing cardio? So there's going to be bits of it.
I trick myself and go play basketball from time to time.
Yeah, of course, you know, and that's the thing. Like you're saying, like you probably just don't like running, like shuttle running, but like you'll play basketball, which is exactly the same.
It's exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and the same thing for me. Like,
oftentimes a lot worse.
Yeah, like tomorrow I got a meeting with the accountants. Okay, that's an hour long. That's the only bit of tomorrow I actually think of work. But I had a full day of working on my business tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's the real hour of work is sitting there with the accountants.
Sitting there with the accountant.
Yeah, you know, like, but like that accountant probably is an accountant, probably doesn't even like their job that much, but they've got 8 hours to do every day.
There's people out there that are accountants that like their job. So
yeah, of course.
I like accountants. So
yeah, I like my accountants. Yeah, I like my accountants, you know, but like, yeah, you know, but that's what it is, you know, like you said, you are right, like, you know, I say like 20% of what you do is probably, well, what I do is classified as work. The rest of it is just what I love doing, you know, and like, you know, like it is like a hobby, you know, like a lot of people ask me, it's like, hey, what your hobbies are? It's like, it's my business. It is. and it is like most people, you know, like they do their 40-hour weeks and they spend, you know, eight hours maybe on a weekend doing their hobby. They play golf on a Saturday and a Sunday, right? Hey, I play golf, but like I'd rather, like if someone said to me, do you want to go play golf or do you want to spend 4 hours in your business? Probably just work on my business for 4 hours, you know? And because, you know, it's my passion, it's what I love. There's plenty of time for golf, you know?
I was reading Frank Kern's sales letters, you know, late at night on Saturday night after the kids went down to bed. I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I don't read anything apart from business books. So, because I like, I think there's one book I've ever read that wasn't part of our business, but I tell you, it was, you know, The Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln Lawyer.
There's a film. It's
is it with Matthew McConaughey? Yeah,
that's it. But it was a book.
I've seen that one. I've seen the movie. I didn't read the book.
Yeah, the book. So the book was actually, I read the book before the film came out. It's just when my dad gave it to me. My dad loves to read. He loves stuff like Lincoln Lawyer, like he loves detective stuff. And he said, hey, you'd enjoy this book. He's like, hey, I know you don't read like, you know, fiction books and stuff. He's like, but this is a real good read about how it went. And I was like, and it's great. It's so good. The book is just as good as the movie. There's extra bits in the book that's not in the movie that like should have been in the movie. But like, it's so good. And you know, even though it was a fiction book, and it's great. It's the first book I've sort of just wanted to keep turning pages because I was still learning loads from the book, and it was an interesting storyline and all that type of stuff, and it was really good, man. And like, that's the only book I've read that isn't a business book.
What book did you read that really helped you the most on the mindset side of things? You're changing your thoughts around money and stuff like that.
I think the biggest book was given to me by the guy I used to work for. Actually, was Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Matheson.
Yeah.
And it's like 0 to 1 million in no time flat. Have you got a copy? I've got like 2 copies.
I got it right here.
Yeah, cool. Because I've got like here too. Yeah, and that's one of my favorite books because
That's a great book.
Yeah, you read like your business. Like, what I tend to do is like it was cool, right? Because I've read it like 5 times now. Like every time I reread it, I'm further into the book, and then like you read a little bit on, and it's like, oh, it's like you're reading the future of your business somewhat. Like it's not obviously to detail, but like every time I've gone to repick the book up, my business is like a few more chapters along the line.
Yeah, you're at a different place in the book. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, the guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like, if you're just starting out, or if I'm definitely recommend picking that book up, reading it, and in 3 months' time, rereading it and see how far you're into that book. And I bet you'll just keep and that motivates me every time. Because I read the book and I'm a bit further up, and then I read a story, and then I'm like, heck, that happened to me. Or, plus a load of other stuff did. But like, it's really good. It was really a big book, and it really affected me and probably helped me make the decision to go on my own as well a little bit. Funny enough, it was given to me by my last employer. But yeah, it was really a really good book. There's a few other books I've read that sort of really pushed me forward. Like Tony Robbins' book, Awakening the Beast Within, I think it is. That's a pretty solid book that I've read. What else? And The One Thing, of course. The One Thing.
Yeah, The One Thing. I got that book too. It's right.
Yeah, The One Thing is those 3 books are pretty impactful on what I've done. And
that's on my nightstand.
yeah, and that's a pretty impactful book. And yeah, there's a few books out there. And like, I don't read too much, probably like 2 books a month. Like 2 books a month I aim for.
So I'm going to give you a biggest cheat thing that I learned. It's called photo reading. And my friend Tom Kavanaugh, he trains on it here in the United States, and he's amazing. And Tom actually taught me how to read like a book an hour. It's crazy. Yeah, I have like literally 4 bookshelves in my office, if you could see it, all full of books. My kids were like looking as we're stacking all the books, putting them away. Like, Dad, do you have like 4,000 books? I'm like, nah, not that many. I was like, but we'll count them when we're all done. There's probably around 800 or something.
That's cool. Like, because I've been very interested in that topic. I've read a bit about it, and I always get scared that I'm going to miss something like that I should have missed. But then, like you say, when you read a book an hour, like you can reread it. Like,
well, the thing is you read it at a subconscious level, and when you take things on subconsciously like that, it's like your mind remembers it. So like I'll pull stuff out of somewhere and say something, I don't know where it came from. It's like that kind of stuff, Jedi stuff, so. Yeah,
that's real cool, man.
Start the droid you're looking for.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit on the journey as you entered in, you got your own business now. What are you doing? Like if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, I know you got some cool stuff that you're working on right now with the Instamate. Tell us more about that, and more guys can learn more about what you're doing.
Yeah, so like what I tend to do is my background is all about launch managing and helping people create launch. So like a lot of people out there will have an urge to create their own product, create their own software, create their own information, sell their own book. And my background is basically being able to give you everything that comes with having to launch your own product into a market space. So I work with like a few selected people. I take new people on as well, but I mainly focus with the people that I sort of with right now because they're like prolific product creators. They create all the time. Luke McGuire is one of my long-term like partners and one of my best buddies out there. And we, like you said, recently launched Instamate 2017. We first launched it ever in 2016, and we did $880,000 in 7 days. And then we just relaunched the 2017 version. We give, as we promised everyone in 2016, when we create a new version, we'll give it to them for free. So we give all them to free, and then we relaunched it again into the marketplace and still managed to generate 364,000 in 7 days on the relaunch of it. Bear in mind, we've given the 14,000 customers beforehand a free upgrade to it. So we were able to do that. We understand that as a business owner, that obviously, yes, we all have smartphones, but, you know, Instagram and social media is a big part of today, you know, really big part of today. So, especially Instagram, you know, you look at Instagram, realistically, like, Instagram has built a whole different area of entrepreneurship, especially in the health niche. I believe, you know, there's these Instagram stars, you know, these days, you know, this, you know, really help people out. Like, you look at people like Kendall Jenner and things like that. Yes, they have a portfolio, but really the people who made them famous is Instagram. You know, you look at people like Jen Shelter, fitness, the thing what made her famous was Instagram. You know, it's the platforms that have made them famous, not what they do such. So we know this can happen for businesses, but we understand businesses don't have the resources of what these people have. Okay, so they don't, you know, so basically Instagram is just for your phone. That's the truth. It still is. You can only use Instagram on your phone unless you use Instamate. So Instamate lets you have photos that you have on your desktop and send them to Instagram. It helps you even schedule. So if you know you need to post 2 to 3 times a day, but you know you're going to be in meetings all day, you can wake up at 20 minutes early, create the posts, put them onto Instamate, and have it, you know, go out, you know, 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. All totally automated system to, you know, help utilize the Instagram traffic that's out there, you know. As well as that, you know, right now we have a thing called Convertory, which is basically a page and funnel builder. It's, you know, an all-in-one package that basically helps. So, you know, even if you have Instagram, the traffic, you're able to use Convertory. And what I really do and what sort of my mind works and what I do a lot is I consult on helping people build funnels into their business to be able to really build a relationship and sort of build a cult, you know, build a following. That's the key thing about funnels. Like, people think funnels are just to sell more stuff. It's not. It's really to build a quick following around what you do, you know. So we have this thing called Convertory, which is literally the ultimate funnel builder. You know, a lot of people, it's very, you know, our competitor is probably ClickFunnels. So if you've ever used ClickFunnels, we compete against ClickFunnels, and we have a few unique selling points over them that we sort of focus on. But the key thing we focus on is that, you know, we help you build funnels, sell more products. But the mainly is what I teach is like, hey, you know, the things you need to put in your email follow-ups, the things you need to put on your page, is to really build a following around. Because yes, Instamate's great and all the traffic stuff, you know, you bring all that traffic, but it just, if you don't do anything with it, it just sits on Instagram, and Instagram owns the traffic. But the key for business, the key to success is owning traffic. That's true. Like, if you can own traffic, so if you're in control of it, so in other words, having people on your mailing list, having people in a Facebook group, you know, things like that, then that's traffic you own. And that's the biggest part for me, is helping people get this traffic onto their email list, onto their text messaging list, or their, you know, their postal address list, or even into Facebook groups. Helping them build a very good following in that, so they're able to, you know, really enjoy their business a bit more, you know, and be in control of all this traffic, and, you know, building these lists and things like that. And that's
what you're saying is the program helps people monetize so they can make money using things like Instagram, using things like social media in a way that they can, you know, the people who are following their message, whatever that message is, whether it's working out, whether it's mindset, whether it's making money online, whatever that message is, you help them amplify that with the system you've created.
Yeah, and that's totally key, you know. And yeah, it's perfect probably way of saying is that, yeah, we, you know, there's all these programs out there, you know, like you probably got like 5,000 friends on Facebook and all this, like, but if they're just on Facebook, you don't really own that, and it's not very monetizable off that. So, you know, at the end of the day, like back in the day, everyone said you used to have to have a website to make money. Now you have to really have a funnel. And the funnel is comprised of web pages, emails you send out, Facebook broadcasts, webinars you use, live events. You know, funnels are huge now. You need to have a whole variety in your business, and not just, you know, this sort of like, you know, social media traffic thing, or you know, thing like this. You know, you have to have these funnels because you have to be able to monetize it. And, you know, what funnels do is, you know, you work so hard to get this traffic, you've monetized it, but what you want to do is you want to capture it and own it. So it's not so hard to monetize it once again. You know, you're able to build it up and really build your business up using that. So that's what we talk about. They're the two main products I really work on because they complement each other very much. And it sort of helps. And it's sort of where I'm sort of my expertise lies, is helping people build funnels around their business, helping people achieve, you know, really having, a lot of people have online assets. Like they want to build their own product, they have their own softwares, or they have their own coaching program, or they have their own, business. And so myself is like, hey, look, let me help you. If it, even if it's let me help you change this business. You already have an offline asset of, your coaching, or, like even like a cake shop. Let me help you create an online asset that you own, and the online asset, and we'll build it into a funnel. And then we'll use like Instamate or, Facebook traffic, Facebook ads, then to really monetize and grow your business on a global scale. Because that's what people don't realize what the internet is, like at the end of the day, it's, like referral stuff. Everyone knows referral is the greatest form of marketing, like, your friend saying, hey, this is what we had. It was a great experience. And that's what you should be using the internet for, is using old school methods like referral marketing and advertising, but on a massive global scale. And that's how we do it. It's just 10 times as your business, because the reach is so far greater. Internet has made the world far smaller. If you only sell cakes or sell, physical stuff on the corner of your street, then you're never really going to, achieve what the greatness that the internet is giving you. And that's what I try and do, is help people bring their business, their ideas, their coaching onto a mass scale. We help, loads of people, like the fitness coach, psychiatrists, health people, doctors, all these people, dentists, and we help them bring their business online so they can have people from, make money from people all around the world. We've helped this doctor actually create an app where people can like book calls and pay to have calls with him over Skype. And he makes a lot of money from that now. But we took in the offline asset and put it onto online, and that's sort of where my area of expertise lays right now. With getting their product launched out there. With all the right marketing material, all the right buzz, and finding all the right people to promote it and put it in the right areas. And that's what's key, like monetizing your business is all about having more than just one product to sell, having more than just one email to send. Do you know what I mean? And that's the key, you have to build this out. But when it's built out and it's the system, you don't have to really touch it again, apart from the work that you really want to do, and if you really want to do it, it's not really work in the end.
So true. Well, Simon, I appreciate you coming on today and sharing your story and being open with your past and history and stuff like that. And look forward to big things from now. I'm going to make sure that we post the links on the website and stuff. And if you want to post the links to your stuff underneath the videos and stuff that was posted online today, that'd be awesome. I want to get more people to understand what you do. And I think Instagram is one of the fastest growing things out there as far as people making money, like cost for acquisition of people and stuff. I mean, like it's not even close compared. I mean, people are trying to get opt-ins off email costing $2, and Instagram is like 5 cents, and it's just insane. It's like
yeah,
Wild West.
Yeah, and that's the key. You find the new places, and you just got to make sure you have everything set up behind Instagram. So when you do get all this stuff for 5 cents, that you're putting it to work and you're making the money, you're making the ROI from it, and that's what's really important too. But yeah, really appreciate the show. Awesome setup, man. I really appreciate being here, and it's awesome being able to share my story with everyone out there and really dig in, because I know I guarantee someone watching this, a light bulb will bubble, they have their aha moment which will push them forward, and that's all I hope for. As long as this video's helped one person, then I'm absolutely delighted.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. See you, Simon.
Thanks. Speak to you soon, Val.